This is the BCMM network. The following broadcast is solely for the enjoyment and entertainment of our audience. This is the Blue Collar Minuteman Show.
Welcome back to the Blue Collar Minutemen Show, where we're just trying to help make this country great again. How is everybody doing out there? And Bill, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you? I see we got a special guest with us today.
Yep, got a special guest back with us today, Tony DePrado. How you doing there, Tony?
I'm doing well, as far as I know.
You mean
I'll have to wait till the liberal tells me.
Yeah, I was going to say Biden hasn't come knocking on your door yet, has he?
No. I'll have to wait till one of his dementia men come and find out and tell me how I'm doing, I guess.
Hey, I like that. Biden sent out the dementia men. Oh man. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're back once again. Thank you all who are out there listening to us, and hope you're good and settled in, having a good weekend. Tony's back with us because Tony's going to share a few things that he's learned about China. So we'll jump right into this. Of course, we all know the Wuhan wagtail came from China. If anybody got that, they know how some people went through worse symptoms or worse, I guess, moments of the COVID than others. Some people it didn't even affect. But Tony, what do you got that you're going to share with us on this China thing?
Well, don't ask me any names, but I have friends that have lived and worked in China and for the last 10 years. And it's strange what I found out when I was talking to them. Finally, they volunteered it, but it was like pulling teeth. How many have heard of pig Ebola?
Now, that's something I've never heard of.
Well, you know, China has, 40 million hogs. And each hog will produce about 200 pounds of food.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in around 2008, 2009, they were checking in the Philippines for blue ear and found out that there was an Ebola strain in the swine. It rapidly started spreading, and the mortality rate is 100%. If a pig has it, it's dead. Mm-hmm. So, and as of today, there's still no cure. But it rapidly spread all through Southeast Asia. Vietnam lost, I think it was like 40% now of their hog population. China has 440 million, and that's half of the worldwide population of hogs. So China has half of the hogs in the world. And it's spread to Mongolia, Russia, Cambodia, Vietnam, and the Philippines. And as of August 2019, 1.2 million hogs have had to be killed just in China. And by December, they estimated the loss was 200 million. That's over half, almost half of the population for their food. And they depend, if a hog puts out 200 pounds of food, the Chinese population, the way it is, that's a major hit on that country's hog and food.
Right. So what you're saying is basically that since we haven't heard of this, of course, they're trying to keep this quiet.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got a friend and his wife work in Wuhan.
Mm-hmm.
And they travel all over. Let's update to 2018. And December of 2018, January 2019.
Mm-hmm.
This is when we started hearing in January, we started hearing about this COVID-19 deal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in 2018, friend, they were in Wuhan. He shows me video, people just walking down the streets, falling over. Bus and train station, people walking across the platform and just collapsing. And here's all these little guys running out with their masks and their PPEs on, scooping them up and hauling them off. Well, they leave. They didn't think any much about it. They just thought, it's influenza or something. They leave and go on vacation and come back and find out that they can't get back into Wuhan.
Okay.
Come to find out, after talking to him, as we all know, China brings in viral specialists from all over the world into Wuhan to do their testing on viruses. They were trying to find a virus that would kill out the pig Ebola virus. And according to my friend, there was a mistake or two made in the lab and it got out. They didn't realize, because most of your Ebola in pigs does not transmute to humans at that time.
Right.
But if one pig got it and he ate on something, the next pig come up and ate on something, it was automatically transferred, and they're both going to die, 100% mortality rate.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying, he told me that the government said we have to stop this, and told the scientists come up with something that will kill this Ebola virus in its tracks. And they said, well, there's a good possibility it'll mutate, anything would come up. And they sit and calculate, and they figured the loss in human life was pretty much okay, as long as they could save the hog population. So it gets out, and Wuhan, it's all over Wuhan. The people that were researching knew that the Chinese New Year was coming up.
Right.
And during the Chinese New Year, millions of Chinese travel all over China and all over the world, especially into Italy. There's thousands of them work in northern Italy. So they brought it out to the public and had to bring it out to the public. And this brings us up where the Chinese started talking about, we have a virus. It's come from bats and caves, which was basically a lie. We know that.
Right. So you're saying that to combat the pig Ebola, they were trying to do this COVID vaccine, which essentially got
Not
out.
vaccine, but the COVID.
Well,
Another
virus.
virus that will kill that one. Actually, if you go back and look at the virus histories, you'll find out that a virus that will kill immediately within days will wipe out the other virus.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been the case, China was, like I say, China was working on this, and I actually seen the videos of people dropping in the street in 2018.
So the people dropping in the street were dropping because of this modified COVID virus?
Right.
Gotcha.
That's what they're saying. That's what he told me, that it was spreading so rapidly through the population, and with the Chinese New Year coming up, they had to go public with it, because it would have got spread all over China. So that's when they went public and locked Wuhan down. Of course, I wasn't there, but I did see the video when the guy was there, him and his wife working in Wuhan.
Well, they've had a lot of people say that, of course, the virus was manufactured, but as far as it, I guess, being a tool or manufactured for the use of, I'll just say, the Democratic Party, I think it seems like they just kind of jumped on board and saw an opportunity is what they saw.
Yeah, anytime you want to change something, create a crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And WHO, I've got friends that's been worked with WHO, European friends, and the majority of them didn't stay long. For some reason, I don't know, but they said they found greener pastures. But the WHO was there during all this time.
Mm-hmm.
The WHO, as we know, is owned by China.
Right.
Much. So, we've been basically, the American people have been fed lies on this whole deal from day one. And I had to absolutely shake my head, and I wanted to beat my head against the wall when I watched Biden's speech the other night, and Take's talking about Trump had not done a thing to stop it, when Pelosi and all of them, come on down to Chinatown. We're going to be down here eating. It's nothing to worry about. And Trump's trying to stop the Chinese from coming. What can you say? I mean,
yeah, we all knew that he was just trying to protect the United States and help in keeping the virus out, which any do. I mean, you've got to have countermeasures. We knew that where the virus came from, so it's not being racist. It's just, okay, that's where it came from. So we can't have anybody coming from that area. If that's the logic, right?
Absolutely.
But yeah, you're right. They, like Bill said, turn a crisis into their advantage. So they said the opposite of what Trump was saying just to try and make him look bad.
Like I say, this was started and they found it in the Philippines in 2008. And it's on record. All anybody has to do is go look at research pig Ebola.
Which begs to the other fact too. If this is such a great detriment, think about farmers here in the US. You don't want that somehow coming across and in turn infecting our livestock.
Well, it'll absolutely, I mean, there's no cure for it.
Right. So it seems like to
I
me,
know of as of today, they may have found something, but this is how it all come about, supposedly from the guy and his wife that was in China working in that area.
Mm-hmm. And see this in turn.
Most people ended up dead that were reporting on it.
Right. Were they Clinton? Were they Hillary?
Yeah, really. I don't know.
Well,
Maria.
Right. What I was getting at was that this begs the question, why isn't our I don't know which division is Division of Agriculture or something like that, saying, look, we've got a problem across the pond that we don't want to happen here. Everybody's going on and on about COVID, but what about this pig Ebola? It should be something that they've talked about or something that they brought up and said, because how long before it could actually come across to us? You know what I'm saying?
One of the questions asked about in Vietnam, they were wanting to know, can we eat the pig because it's infected? And supposedly they were told, you can go ahead and eat it because just prepare it the way it should be prepared and it shouldn't affect you. So I haven't heard any more about that. But China, I don't want to eat their fish. It's full of mercury.
No.
I don't want to eat anything imported from China. And I'll be honest, you go to Kroger's and a lot of these places, you look at your chicken, you look at your fish, you look at even your pork. Look down, product of the United States, made in China, imported from China.
Well, I saw
Read that
yesterday,
label.
I was actually at Walmart looking at seafood, and most of the seafood was imported from Vietnam, imported from China. I mean, there was no caught in America fish, I guess. I don't know. It was all from Asia. All the fish was from Asia.
Only ones I found was from Aldi's. That's the only fish I found that didn't have anything on the label. It said caught, and it said caught in produced in the USA.
There's actually, Tony, a report out as well. I just saw it. I didn't get a chance to read it yet, which I should have. But it basically is a report out as to how much America, how much are we indebted to China in means of everything that we import from them? And apparently about 90% of our antibiotics come from China.
97%
Yeah.
of US antibiotics and about 80% of the active pharmaceutical ingredients used in American drugs comes from China.
Aspirin comes from China.
Acetaminophen comes from China.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So this begs the differ to all of us. You know, I say Trump was definitely on to something, trying to make America great again by having us do our own producing and taking care of ourselves. With everything that we know, why are we allowing this? Tony, you just told us about pig Ebola. We're getting antibiotics from China. Why do we let China give us so much when we can do it ourselves?
It's just been all the EPA standards put on companies, all the taxes put on companies. I mean, sure, you know, the unions driving the cost of labor up. What do you expect? Of course, they're going to start outsourcing. They've been doing it for years because of the way the Democrats have tried to, you know, clamp down on everything and put the screws to any type of entrepreneur or any type of company, unless it's big tech.
Yeah.
Did you know, was it Tyson is owned by Tyson Meats is owned by China.
I did not know that.
So is Smithfield.
Smithfield, yeah.
There is
Smithfield.
no,
I may be wrong on Tyson, but
Yeah,
I think
Smithfield is the one that's owned by China.
okay. I apologize. I'm wrong. It was
Smithfield.
Smithfield. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't buy Smithfield anymore.
Smithfield put out a statement that that they are, even though they're owned by a Chinese company, they went and put them on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, which puts them to having several owners. They're not just owned by China. They say they have several shareholders around the world, but it's still not a U.S. company anymore.
right.
The majority of the people that own and the owners are from China.
You know, that brings up something entirely different, but still along the same subject. Autism in children. How many percentage has it gone up in the last 20 years? It's phenomenal. What is it? 1 out of 10 now, or 1 out of 11?
Yeah, I don't know the exact statistics on it, but you are right. Autism in children has gone up dramatically. And
I want to tell you a little something. This is what reason I brought that up, because all this food being imported, and even here in the United States, GMOs being injected into it, growth hormones injected into it. I'm not trying to scare people, but there was a certain loaf of bread that Barb found, half opened, about half eaten loaf of bread. The tie wrap was just twisted and stuck under it.
Mm.
It was sitting on a shelf at one of the where she works. She got that and looked at it, and the date was September of last year. She opened it up, took the bread out. It wasn't molded. It was still soft. That is scary. When bread will stay fresh outside, you know, just sitting for 6 months, what in the hell are they putting in the bread now? I remember bread would mold in a week on you during the summertime. Your mom used to put it in the refrigerator to keep it from molding.
Hey, I'll tell you a little personal story, Tony. Get this. Of course, everybody who's close to me knows my dad passed away a few years ago. It's been, well, almost 4 years now. But he passed away, and so he left his car at our farm. And my dad was notorious for going to Arby's and getting Arby's food and eating what is beef and cheddar with curly fries. So after he passed, his car had sat at the farm for I don't know how long because it was stuck. He passed, we take up, did things, and we went out there to finally pick up his car. Well, of course, like anything else, it was dirty. Leaves had fallen on it at some point. Well, we got to cleaning out his car and we found an Arby's bag. And inside the Arby's bag was some more curly fries. Now, I'm just going to say, there was no mold on these curly fries. There was no sign of decay on these curly fries. They looked like you had just bought them, but there's no telling how long they sat in this car. Like you said, Tony, that didn't decay. So what is on Arby's curly fries?
I tell you what, I really believe it's really bad, and I never was one to chase that rabbit down the hole on the preservatives, but I'm starting to worry about it. It's not for me because look, I'm old enough. I ain't got that much time left, but my grandkids, my kids, people, I tell you what, get you a piece of bread and set it out and just watch it. If it molds in 2 or 3 days, then that's a good brand to eat. But if it's still there 2 weeks later and no mold on it, there's a problem right there.
Yeah. They want us to believe that all of this stuff helps with making a better life for us, and it makes the food cleaner and lasting longer. But I mean, you think about it, Tony, back in the 20s and 30s, people went down to the meat markets to get a fresh cut of meat, and your vegetables, they got them from their gardens or they got them from farmers markets. That was what they did. And now pasteurization is a bad thing. I'm beginning to realize I really don't want anything that's pasteurized, but we have no choice. But
there is on milk.
What's that?
There is UTH.
Yeah.
Milk. Ultra high temperature processed milk. It doesn't have to be refrigerated. We carried it to Antarctica with us, and I mean, it tastes a little different from what you're going to buy up here.
Well, in the military Europe, that's the milk they gave you, little cartons. They just threw it out there. They just kept it sitting in the storeroom. It wasn't refrigerated at all.
Yeah. But I mean,
maybe a carton of it.
Parmalat, I think, is one brand of it.
Yeah.
You can buy that here on the shelf. It's sitting it's not in the coolers. It's on the shelves here at Walmart.
Yeah. Walmart's got it, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
See, and when I was living in Italy, that was milk. That's the milk you bought.
Yeah. Well,
You didn't go get a gallon of milk. you went and bought the Parmalat, and that was your meal.
Oh,
Both times I went to Antarctica, that's what I took. The Falkland Island, people in the Falkland Islands, that's what they drink.
Mhm.
And the British Antarctic Society, that's what they put in their food crates. That great marmalade.
Mhm.
well, I'll just add one more thing. Of course, Bill, I know you know too. I've been to Germany. I've ate German food. I mean, the difference between eating their food versus eating ours is their food tastes better because there's none of this crap in it.
Correct.
I mean,
I'm
they're
still yet to find. I'll be honest. There may be some here somewhere, but I've
Mhm.
still yet to be able to find a true pizza, Italian pizza, here anywhere in the. But what we call pizza is not
A pizza.
a pizza.
Mhm.
No, it's no.
Well,
I'm
I'll tell you
sorry.
what, I urge people to, these farmers markets and stuff, you save a bundle. Of course, it don't last as long sitting on the shelf. So you want to, eat it. You might want to make 2 trips a week instead of, but that's where I go all the time anymore.
It's worth it. So we got a little bit off topic, but that's still a good conversation, guys. But after talking about this China thing, which begs the way our government is going, and all of these different executive orders that Biden is signing, and all of these things he's wanting to put on the American people, and businesses are closing, blah, 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 on and on and on. What are we going to be able to do? What can the states do? And Bill, I think you were telling us earlier about we were talking about states that have an assembly, but there's just something that they need though to actually do that.
Well, you can have a convention of states, but it's going to take 3/4 of the states to request it before it can happen. So that's why like 34 states, I believe, Tony,
You're right, 34.
have to jump up and request it. And anything that happens in a convention of states has to be ratified by 34 of the 50 states.
Mhm.
So at this point, getting 34 states to agree on anything is going to be difficult.
Right. Someone had brought that up to me. That's why I thought it would be a good discussion topic,
It
because
would be a good thing to happen, but like we said, it right now getting 34 states to agree on the same thing is going to be difficult.
Well, we gave Washington the power to do certain things. The states did back over the years, but the founding fathers had the foresight to realize that you're going to have fools like you've got in there today and corrupt
Mhm.
people that's not interested in freedom. They're interested in control of the human race and one world order and all that. So that's where they come in and wrote in the convention states that they could actually take power from the federal government and give it back to the states. The Second Amendment, someone of the congressman was calling, told them, said, look, if you want to ratify, if you want to come out with all this gun control, let's have just convention of states and we'll go in and rewrite to the Second Amendment. And we'll write it how it should be.
Mhm.
So, you look at House Bill 127.
Oh God.
It's a doozy.
Yeah, they passed the
I
part.
mean, the House passed.
What's
Yeah,
that?
the House passed it, but the House passed 127. But hopefully it'll die in the Senate.
Well, and that's the other thing too. I've been I've been hearing chatter. Of course, we've gone on this House bill. We've been hearing chatter that, or I have, that watch out because they're getting ready to do another staged attack. Meaning the Democrats are getting ready to stage another shoot.
flag.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're really trying to get these guns, people. I mean, they're going to no lengths. So just watch the news carefully and see what's going on.
There's only one reason your government would want a law-abiding citizen to give up his weapons, and that's control.
Right.
I mean, if
Well,
you're
that happened
if
in
you
Germany in
look
the
at gun owners, if we were really the problem, they would already know it.
Yeah,
I mean, think about it.
absolutely.
How many guns there are, how many people there are with guns. If we were a problem, they would know it already.
Yes.
There's no doubt.
Be all honest, Bill, even all those gun owners, police departments wouldn't be able to have hardly a chance because there's more guns than there are police officers.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, look what it done. I mean, you can't have anything, you can't own 50 cal up. I think if you own one now, you can have it, but you can't sell it.
Right.
And that's what,
And so it's the Dianne Feinstein's bill wants to outlaw 250 different types of what she calls an assault weapon. They still haven't figured out what an assault weapon is. There's no military in the world used an AR-15.
AR-15 is not an assault weapon.
No,
never
it is
has.
not used by
armor.
any military. It looks like, okay, it's for an example. Remember the kit cars where you could take your Volkswagen chassis and you put a Corvette frame on, or plastic frame that looked like a Corvette? It's still a Volkswagen, okay? It's not a Corvette. It's just like these rifles. You take a rifle, you put a black stock on it and a pistol grip. It's not an assault weapon. It's still just a rifle, a semi-automatic rifle.
That's it.
That's it. I mean, there's no difference here. Put lipstick on a pig, I mean, come on.
Still pig.
Still pig.
One thing about that bill, the background check aside, now you have to have pass a certified training course to own or purchase a gun. Well, who's going to set up that certified training course? What really gets me is you have to also pass a psychological evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a veteran. 98% of the veterans will never be able to own guns. And because how many of us, all three of us are veterans, how many of us have been, listed, had psychiatric evaluations when we come out, PTSD.
What Tony's getting at is when you come out of a hostile environment, they are encouraging you to just go to the psychiatrist and be checked out before you depart the Army, whatever, make sure you're good.
Mm-hmm.
That in itself disqualifies you. Even if they found nothing wrong with you, you went and got an evaluation. Under this bill, that would disqualify you from having a weapon. Even though they found nothing wrong,
people don't think about.
even though they found nothing wrong, that would disqualify you.
See, folks, everything we're telling you here, you should be concerned about. You should be concerned about what's going in this bill, why they want to do it, and the ins and outs that they're trying to sneak into it. I mean, I don't know how many people, like you said, Tony, when we got out, when I came out from over the pond, they sat us down and, okay, how do you feel? Do you want to hurt yourself? Okay, how do you feel now? How do you feel about this conversation? And it's like, well, one, you're getting on my freaking nerves asking me all these questions, but they evaluate you you know, and literally they seem like they almost push you to want to say that you have some type of PTSD, which I told them I didn't. They're like, well, did you suffer any trauma? I'm like, no, I'm fine. Leave me alone. But all of those people, even like me, who just did that, just because I went through that evaluation, well, you can't have a gun now.
If you stop and think, if you're a veteran and you're with the VA, you go to the VA to get your checkups. You go twice a year for checkups.
Mm-hmm.
What's the first thing that nurse asks you for after she takes your temperature, your weight, and your blood pressure? Have you had any thoughts of killing yourself? Do you feel like people are against you? You have a mental evaluation twice a year. No veteran will be able to own a gun.
See, that's not right. That is not right. They, like Bill said, this is all about control. They're killing us with the food that they put preservatives in. They're putting pasteurization, everything they're putting in food. They're basically taking away all of our jobs. And yes, I'm going to say it. They're taking away all of our American jobs and importing everything from China. They're wanting to make the American people poor and dependent on a government that's corrupt as the water is wet. I mean, we have to wait.
Going back to, you've got the same as the French government in the 1800s or 1700s, Marie Antoinette and everything. There's no difference in what they're wanting. It's basically the same thing. Everybody's poor except the aristocrat.
Yeah. And they've already got their money. And
how do they become millionaires on a salary? That's, you know, that's something good to think about.
Well,
Pelosi,
just look at it. I think we mentioned this before. Individual gets slotted as Secretary of Defense, just happens to own $1 million worth of stock in, I won't mention the company's name, but in this company. And guess what? 2 days later, they get the entire defense contract to build all the weapons.
mm-hmm.
So that's how you get rich in Washington.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that has bothered me is this last big statement about where Joe Biden's telling people, you know, if you get vaccinated, you get this, we might let you barbecue on the 4th of July.
Huh.
You heard that one, didn't you?
Yeah.
I saw something about it, but I didn't get into it.
Okay. As Thomas Massie, Congressman Thomas Massie said, if you're waiting for permission from the chief executive to celebrate Independence Day with your family, you clearly don't grasp the concept of independence.
Yep.
Absolutely.
But they might let you celebrate with barbecue if you get the vaccine.
Oh,
Does that go with the maternity flight paratrooper suit?
Or flight suits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, Tucker. Can you believe that they're attacking him using the official U.S. military Twitter pages?
really?
Yeah. Poor Tucker. All he did was say it like it was. And now the military's attacking him.
I don't know what for. I mean, good grief. I mean, who would want a pregnant woman up in a plane?
I got down there, you sent me out, and I rolled in the floor laughing. And Barb thought she's going to have to call the guys in the little white suits to come and get me.
Well, here's the thing. As now, I'm no doctor. I'm not a doctor, although I did sleep at a Holiday Inn Express. I'm no doctor, but for everything I know that, a woman's body goes through during pregnancy, that pressurization can affect the pregnancy, whether it can accidentally terminate your pregnancy or it can have an adverse effect on the mother. So you think about it, you're going up in altitude, and people have even told women about getting, doctors tell them about getting on planes while they're pregnant.
Yeah.
But you're going up in altitude, pressure changes, you're coming down, you're going up. Not to mention you're landing on a runway.
Think of the stress.
Yes. And then this kind of Bill, I'm going to shoot this at you. There's radar systems out there that are really powerful that these planes are taxiing around and everything like that. What about all that radiation?
It just makes no sense. I mean, and you know what? His comment wasn't even derogatory against women being
No.
pregnant and flying planes. His comment was meant, those are, hold on just a minute. We just had a little thing came up on your screen there. It said your internet is unstable or something.
Uh-oh.
It's back now. But anyway, his comment was more geared toward women. Pregnant women are important to the United States. They're important to the world. They
Yeah.
are repopulating our world, keeping the human race
Right.
going. Why should we put them in a combat situation? They should be over here being protected. They're that important. But now they've misconstrued it all around, saying that, he's, I guess, racist against women. I don't know.
Well, sure. I don't care about women, being in the combat roles. Have at it. Do you go kill people? You shot them before I did. Yay. But if you're pregnant, I mean, honey, come on. Let's have some common sense here, which Joe lacks.
Very much.
But I think this is the part that we got to say. I've said this before. At some point, we got to put our foot down and say, enough is enough. That's just stupid, And women, no matter how strong you are, how powerful and pro, you doing things for yourself. Let's just have some common sense. You go up in an airplane pregnant.
Here combat situation.
You liable to come back with the kid's foot hanging out your mouth because you had to do a barrel roll and 8 G's to get away from a missile. I mean, what the crap?
Well, you talk about radiation. I was in the first AWAC squadrons, and our radar was a megawatt, and we had to watch on the flight deck before we fired it up to test it, and no one was in front of the aircraft because we didn't want to give them a weekend happy pill so they go out and don't have to worry about propagating.
And that just brings me up, there are a lot of memes out there that, and of course we went over this, that civilians just don't understand it like veterans do and active duty military. A civilian sees something that says, oh, military grade. And, they got this like, oh, it's military grade. And we're like, oh, crap. I mean,
that's the lowest bidder.
Yeah. I mean, civilians just don't understand how much radiation soldiers and pilots and everybody is around on a daily basis. When you're on a military installation, there's satellites, there's jet fumes, there's fumes off of equipment. And then when you go overseas, there's the same thing, plus all the hazards of being overseas, which the poop burning over in Afghanistan, I'm still supposed to sign up on that. I ain't done it. you know, all of these chemicals and things soldiers and military are exposed to. And now Joe wants to put a pregnant female in a plane. Okay. I'm
Did he
just
actually, I missed it. Did he actually say that?
Well, no, the Defense Department came out with
Okay.
their new jumpsuits for pregnant females.
yes. That's the
Pilot
whole
suits. That's the
Yeah.
whole thing that started here. Well, I mean, why? And they were all proud of this, that they were making flight suits for pregnant females. And that's when it all started out. Why are we putting pregnant females in cockpits in combat zones?
yes.
You know, if I was a female and pregnant, I sure as the hell wouldn't have been, want to be launched off of a catapult on an aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
Go into labor as soon as you went off. Yeah.
Well, my question is, and I'm gonna be probably go to hell for saying this, but what if she goes down and parachute opens up? How the hell is she gonna run from the enemy and be pregnant? Shit. I'm just saying. Y'all can beat me up later on.
This world's gone to hell in a handbag, I'll tell you.
I know.
Excuse no language.
It's just at a point where it's not, well, to me, it's just at a point where I'm just like, you know what, just at this point, whatever, I'm sitting on my porch waiting for you. Come on.
We're at 40.
Okay. But Bill, did you have something else? I'm kind of lost track of where we were at.
There's just so much going on out there that we just need to pay more attention. Joe Biden did make the statement that if they don't pass the gun laws, he was going to do an executive order on them. Just watch for that. And I have heard if he does an executive order, it would eventually go to court. It would eventually be deemed unconstitutional.
So,
But from the time he implements it to the time it gets into court, they could take a whole lot of guns off the street.
well, that still begs the question too, who's going to get them?
Yeah, who's going to get it? But hey, if
Well,
you haven't noticed, there's a very large contingent of social justice warriors now taking key positions in the military.
Yeah.
Been
I've seen-
happening. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so who knows?
Mhm. I will bring this up because it did hit my news feed, and I don't know if everybody else is keeping up because mainstream media isn't reporting it, but Portland is still on fire.
Did you get the thing about the federal courthouse that burnt last night? Yeah. Okay. They removed all the barricades.
Yes.
As soon as they did, they attacked it and set it on fire with
Yeah.
people inside.
Yes.
Okay. Why did you remove the barricades?
Well, why did only one person go to jail?
I know. One person out of all that rioting went to jail.
Tony, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say what Bill's talking about. I find it really strange that all of a sudden they take all the barricades and everything down and the federal courthouse, and within hours, Antifa's, oh no, I'm sorry, it was peaceful demonstrators were
Okay.
there sitting, burning the building.
With people inside.
Yeah, with people inside.
We're talking arson here. We're talking attempted murder.
Yes. And it's a federal building. So that should be federal charges.
Yeah,
One person was arrested.
one person arrested. 400 going to be charged in the insurrection and the terrible mass murdering riot in Washington, D.C. not one gun was found. Not one shot was fired.
Except by the police.
Except by the police. One person died by the police. The other one, they will not release the autopsies still yet. Did they ever release it?
No, but the family says it wasn't from being hit with a fire extinguisher. So
That's what I heard too. I didn't make sure that they hadn't released it this week, and I didn't know it. And we still got Washington, D.C. The capital is, I mean, it looks like Auschwitz. Looks like a concentration camp.
You all are forgetting one,
Water.
you all are forgetting one very important thing out of everything you just said. And it's the most important thing. You gave AOC PTSD.
Yeah.
now I have heard,
And she wasn't even in the building. She was a building away.
I have heard that the reason they've got all these fences up and all the National Guard in town still is to keep Biden from wandering away.
Probably right.
That's the true reason it's up there, to keep him from wandering off somewhere.
Didn't they have a rope tied around his ankle so he
And they
couldn't
need
walk
to.
off?
Put a belt around his neck. Oh, this is insane. It's still insane that we're reporting stuff like this.
Why do
But
they still have the Capitol locked off like that?
We don't
That-
know.
That building belongs to us. It doesn't belong to them.
We have no idea.
who
And like I
knows?
said,
Scared to death.
the only logical explanation is to keep Biden from wandering away.
Or they're scared. They're so scared that somebody's going to come in there and actually say something, fuss at them, that and they might say, "You're not doing a good job." Of course, that's automatic PTSD. I need I need a safe room. I've got to have therapy.
Or they're being racist. But you got anything else for us, Tony?
No, not really. I tell you, I've enjoyed it. Appreciate y'all having me back and ramblings of an old feller, but I've seen a lot. But I tell you what, I have never been so disgusted in my life. There's no saying it from a song. The Lord's coming, and boy, is he upset, to put it mildly.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
Amen.
You got anything?
No, just pay attention to what's going on. I mean, don't even get into all that stimulus bill thing that we got into last week. I'm seeing
Yeah.
more and more and more pork that is coming out of that.
That figures.
And
Like that bridge across to Canada.
it's just, I mean, everything in there, nothing in that bill that amounted to any money actually went to COVID relief.
No.
What,
So-
9% of it? Something
Yeah,
like that.
it was a very low percentage.
Less than 10%.
Just it's a payback for supporting them in the elections, all it is.
Yep.
Basically, you buy all the blue states.
Yeah, it's a
bail
blue state
them out.
bailout. Yeah,
Why does the bomber? Why is the marathon bomber getting a
yeah,
stimulus check?
yeah. If like we went over that last week, it was like even a convicted murderer,
Yep.
if you're
Yeah.
in jail, you're getting a check.
Why? That's some of the questions American people need to be asking, calling congressmen, representatives, like, why are felons, murderers, rapists going to pulling life in prison, getting a stimulus check? What
Exactly.
the hell do they need with a stimulus check? They get 3 squares and a cot and a nice 6x8 sail.
And all the buttholes they can want.
You're going to have to take that
We're
out.
running close to an hour here.
Okay. We got to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you enjoyed the show. Glad you stick with us. As always, check us out on Spreely. We're on MeWe. We've got older episodes that are still on Spotify. I actually listened to one of them the other day. Just to
By
check
the
some
way,
things. Yeah.
I just wanted to bring this up. Did you know Spotify is owned by China?
Figure. I'm pretty sure they're gonna
TikTok.
house here before too long.
Probably.
But check us out. Check out our website at bluecollarminutemen.com. Look for updates and different news there. Blah, 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 blah. Bill, what am I forgetting?
We'll be on Tucker Carlson for long.
Yeah.
Also, like I said, we're not getting any money from this, but Proton Mail, if you haven't already got an email address through Proton Mail, get it, because it's a secure website that's not in the United States and it's encrypted. So your information will be safe through there. Also, DuckDuckGo is a good search engine. Forget about Google. And
Rumble, YouTube. By the way, Mike Lindell is starting his own conservative YouTube channel. It's not YouTube. It's going to be his own platform.
Yep.
And I'm interested to see this get started. We'll have to get on there when it gets started.
yes, can't wait. So from all of us here at the Blue Collar Minutemen and Tony, God bless you all. God bless America. Hey, you all be safe, and we'll see you.
Take care.
God
See you.
bless.